few coaches would disagree that 75% of fast-pitch softball is reliant upon pitching. Yet very few coaches know anything about pitching. This tape is designed to help coaches pick out trouble spots in their pitchers and correct problem areas. Most coaches can look at a pitcher and say, oh, she looks good, or we got problems here, something doesn't look quite right, this looks awkward, or that doesn't look right. But most of them, in order to pick out specific problem areas with their pitcher, have a lot of difficulties. What we'd like to do is pull out the specific areas and give you lots of examples of those things and try to help you evaluate your pitcher throughout the season. To start out with, we want to give you some tips on how and where to evaluate your pitchers. First of all, the best place for you to stand when evaluating pitchers is either directly behind the catcher or off to the pitcher's dominant side. When standing behind the catcher, you're looking for things like the line of force as they're pitching towards you. You're looking for, are they staying in a straight line towards the catcher? Is any part of their body going off to the sides? When you're standing off to the side of the body, you're looking at things like length of stride, body lean. It's very easy. Pitching is really a very easy skill to evaluate because it just is a very easy skill to perform. It should look very efficient. You want to look for common things like balance, control, body control, efficiency. It should look effortless. If any of your pitchers are bouncing up and down, bending, leaning forward, leaning backward too much, and they look like they're working hard, then you know something is wrong. When evaluating your pitchers, I've put together a checklist of things for you to look for and mark down on that list whether or not your pitchers are performing these skills properly. To start out with on that checklist, we need to look at the pre-motion or the wind-up. Throughout the pre-motion and the wind-up, we want to do three things. We want to, first of all, make sure that that wind-up is always relaxed. It's not going to help you throw faster, so we want to use the wind-up to build a rhythm. Okay? When building the rhythm, we need to make sure that the rhythm is always the same. So the second thing in the wind-up or the pre-motion is that it needs to be consistent. The third thing about the pre-motion is that we need to get the glove arm started in the proper direction. And what that is the glove should start out by pointing directly at the catcher and then pulling down to the side. Okay? Those three things have to happen when we're looking at the pre-motion. And looking at the action of the arms, particularly the pitching arm. The pitching arm needs to do three things. There should be three things on your checklist. Number one, the elbow of the pitching arm should stay straight or extended. It shouldn't be locked or stiff because that's going to add excess tension, but the elbow should stay extended as possible. As the pitching arm goes up through the motion, it should stay close to the ear, the bicep muscle close to the ear, and on the downswing, the forearm should just brush up against the thigh. Okay, brush against the thigh. Now, notice I didn't say brush against the side. It's not actually the side of the body that we're brushing against. It's the front of the thigh because we want the arm to come through before the hips. Okay, from this position, when the arm brushes up against the side, we're going to snap the wrist as hard as possible and stop the hand at that point. Okay. Those three things with the pitching arm: straight elbow, brushing the ear, brushing the side. When talking about the action of the legs, the things on our checklist that we want to look for. First of all, a comfortable stride length. Comfortable for each pitcher means that they are able to stay balanced. So a tall pitcher who maybe throws harder might take a longer stride, but her body has to stay balanced over both feet. It should look as if she's not working hard to take that stride. She shouldn't be jumping. She shouldn't be leaping off the mound. It should be just nice, comfortable, easy movement. The second thing on our checklist is a very limited bend of the knees. Limited bending enough to shift body weight from back foot to front foot, but only enough to absorb the weight. There should be very little bend of the knees. The third thing on our checklist for the legs includes stepping in a straight line towards the catcher. And in this case, you can actually have your pitchers put a line on the ground, and as they step forward, they should step onto the line with the toe turned in. By turning the toe in, we promote hip rotation, and we can get the hips turned out of the way so the pitching arm can come straight through to the target. At this point also, Remember, with your young pitcher, you're going to have to remind them. A right-handed pitcher is going to step with the left foot. A left-handed pitcher is going to have to step with the right foot, and so on and so forth. The fourth thing that we want to look at in the action of the legs is the follow-through of the back foot. It's important in the follow-through of the back foot that the hips go from turned or rotated open to closed at some point. The easiest way to teach that, to help pitchers learn that good follow-through, is by asking them to bring the knees together and the back foot up on the toe. So at the point of snap, at the point of release, they want to drag the back foot forward, and I tell them to bring knee to knee. Okay. Those four things on the action of the legs are most important on our checklist. Throughout your checklist, as you evaluate your pitcher, look down the list, check off the areas where she is not having problems and that she does properly, and the areas where she's having difficulty, leave those open. Then you have specific spots, specific areas where your pitcher needs to work on, and you can really focus your attention on those areas.